Okay, I admit it, I'm weak-willed. Over Christmas I watched Wallace and Gromit like a lot of people in England did, and possibly in America, I'm not quite sure if it's popular over there, and I saw the meat Wensleydale crackers and I went, I know what, I would like to get some Wensleydale crackers too. Oh, gorgeous. Greetings YouTube, Captain Machine here, back for another review. Sorry about being offline for a while. Basically, I've been contacted by the guys who have written Helix, which is, as they quote, the post-apocalyptic high-tech fantasy western role-playing game. Which is a very interesting title to give a game. It's written by, or conceived by, Adam J. I'm probably pronounced this wrong, Weber. Now I'm going to put a link in the sidebar telling you where to go to pick this up, because you can. It's a PDF, and I believe you can also get a copy, physical hard copy, from Lulu, although if I'm wrong about that, then may I be punished. Basically, this was given to me as a PDF some time ago, and I was asked to review it, and I did say I would, and I haven't got around to doing it yet. I'm not a big fan of reading PDFs, which is why it's taken so long, so when I had my week off, I made myself a coffee, put some music on, and I actually made myself read it. And it's very good. It's worth the read. If you know, despite the fact that I can't stand PDFs because it makes my eyes hurt after reading so long, I work on a computer all day long when I work, and I come home and I play World of Warcraft, so I spend a lot of time on my computer. And reading a PDF off the screen is never appealing to me. Although this one is worth the read, and if you've got a printer that can print out a PDF, it's well worth a go. Basically, the gist of it is in the future, high-tech fantasy future, or high-tech future, sorry, magic comes back into the world at roughly the same time as some kind of apocalyptic event, and overall the whole thing goes belly up, with the exception of the clusters of civilization which still survive. These big, towering, shiny cities which you'd come to expect from any sci-fi setting are still around, and they're still churning out all this high-tech stuff, computers and guns and armour and all that jazz. But outside of that, it's like a blasted wasteland, which is where the western side of it comes from, because everything's devolved down to, you know, the Victorian ages all over again, obviously. You've got your cowboys and stuff, although you've now got cowboys with miniguns, which is kind of weird, but, you know, it works, it really does. You've also got your magic in there as well, so you can have mages, which kind of... Basically, I was trying to find a niche to put this in, and my honest opinion is they've taken every single version of Deadlands, mushed them all together, because Deadlands, as you may or may not be aware, covers 3 different time frames, and they added their own spice to it, and it works really well. It's a very unique and interesting setting which you can abuse all heaven out of, because you can set games in a fantasy setting whereby you're in like some kind of elf-infested island or planet, or not planet, island or realm. You can have your gritty, dusty westerns, or you can have your sprawling high-rise metropolis adventures. So there's quite a lot of grasp there. Now, how this all meshes together, I'm not quite sure, because it's kind of vague in the book. It's not a very long book per se, but I tend to view it by the Judge Dredd principle, where you've got these huge megacities, and outside of the walls of the megacities, it's just that blasted wasteland I was talking about. And that's how I visualise it. Kind of like how it is with Firefly, where you've got the corporate sectors, and then outside of it you've got the edge of civilization, and the juxtaposition between the two is quite radical. The game itself is rather interesting. It uses what I at first thought was quite a weird mechanic, because you use a d6 or a d12, although when you read further into the rules, it's quite obvious that you've got certain abilities and attributes which roll for 1 to 12 scale, one to go for 1 to 6 scale, and you use whichever dice is appropriate to that to calculate your chance of success. And it works really well because it is meshing itself quite well with the character creation process and the character advancement process. So once you actually get into it, the idea of you picking up a d12 or a d6 isn't that alien. Although it's just another reason to get your d12 out and dust it off, because after all, it cries itself to sleep in your dice bag. It's got a very unique magic system, in the fact that it's customizable, heavily customizable. There's not many games out there that do it and do it well. Again, with the equipment, you can customise that as well. You do get a stock of existing spells and guns and armour, which you can use if you're quite a light work player or a light work GM. But if you want to go more in depth with it and you want to get your teeth into it, you can use those rules to customise it. I'm not sure how open that to abuse that particular set of rules is. Obviously the GM always has the power to veto these sort of things, especially if someone turns up with the unkillable, like godlike spell of doom. So the combat's nice and fast, it's fluid, fully customisable. How would I compare this? I would say this is a beer and pretzels game, much like Savage Worlds is. Now, it may suffer from the same flaws I think Savage Worlds suffers from, in the fact that after you play it for a long period of time, say 2 or 3 months, it can not only does it get a bit stale, but you also tend to find that the power progression goes a bit skew-whiff. It's not a gradual line, it's not a slight slant, it's a godlike, which is a problem that Savage Worlds suffers from, in the fact that in a very few advancements you can get quite powerful very quickly, to the point where people aren't savvy with how they spend the points get left behind. So I'm not sure if this game is open to that, but it looks like it had the possibility of it. How would you play this? I would take this to a convention because it's very easy to learn the rules. You can sit someone down in a couple of minutes, you've explained the rules to them, and that is perfect for convention play. It's got a very unique and interesting setting which the average gamer can accept straight away. Magic, no problem. Westerns, no problem. Big guns, no problem. Monsters coming over the hill, no problem. You know, if you mesh it all together, it works really well. So I would say this is the perfect convention game, the perfect one-nighter game. Beyond that, I don't think this can support a campaign really well, but that's not a detriment. There's plenty of games out there that have that problem. Call of Cthulhu, which is my favourite game, has that problem. Long-term campaigns have this horrible habit of dying off early when the player characters do. So, link in the sidebar. If you want to go buy it, go buy it. The guys who have written it are actively supporting it. There's new material coming out all the time, which is free of charge. New monsters, new stuff like that, new guns, new armour. You get the idea. So, if you want a nice, quick beer and pretzels game, which isn't going to cost you the earth, go over there. I know a lot of people out there do love PDFs. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. So, you probably can either buy a hard copy or get one printed out. Thanks for your time, guys. Bye-bye.